All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me once again for this very special late night impromptu show I really wish I didn't have to do. I'm going to share more about why I felt the need to do this show before going to bed, because something else has transpired and it is just absolutely despicable and blowing my mind away. And we're going to get to that in just a second here. Before we get to all of that, let me first of all make sure, as always, that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that it is rolling well. And it looks like it is. Let me also make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it just did. How about a sound check? Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me once again for this very special late night impromptu show I really wish I didn't have to do. Yeah, once again, I really wish I didn't have to do this show, but yeah, I was taking an Epsom salt bath a few hours ago. And my lady went to bed early. She was tired. I still had some energy, so I said, babe, I'm going to go and take an Epsom salt bath. If you are too tired to join me, I get it. No problem. And I always bring my phone in there, and I always, catch up on content. And I was watching this live stream run by the Necro channel. And the actual full channel name is, I'm going to go to it just so I don't butcher it. It is called, give me a second here, Necro Getting Bags. Well, I don't know why it's called that. Getting bags for what? To deliver DoorDash, Uber Eats? I don't know. I don't know what the title means, but the guy is called Necro, and he runs this channel. I guess he's a part of the gig economy, and he has a lot of, gig economy guests on his panel every day. It's kind of like a channel that's run by Flex, and a guy that used to run a channel, Always Cherry Pick, who currently has his channel hidden. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he won't. Who knows? If you're new here to the community, you won't know what I'm talking about, but this is more so for the people that have been around for quite some time. So I was watching part of the replay. Actually, they were still live, but I seeked back because they were live for like 7 or 8 hours at that point. And I heard that Robert Reese went on that stream and was talking to a man named Sam Lee that I was talking about earlier on my Walking with Purpose live stream yesterday. It's after midnight now. It's 5:33 a.m. Eastern, 2:33 a.m. Pacific. And Sam Lee was the guy that I guess unintentionally threatened a good friend of mine out here, Glitch Dash. His name is Thomas Schubik. He runs the Glitch Dash channel. And I guess, he made a threat that Thomas took seriously, and Thomas hit his channel, and he's yet to be heard from since that point about a day ago when he hit his channel, about 24 hours ago, at the time I'm doing this live stream. I even tried to text Thomas. I didn't hear back from him. If you're watching, Thomas, whether live or on the replay, I hope you're doing well, and come back ASAP. You have nothing to worry about. This is one big joke. This Sam Lee guy is going to be exposed here tonight by myself. I'm going to do it professionally, but I'm going to fill in the gaps that everyone else hasn't figured out about this guy yet. I actually watched about an hour of the Necro stream where Sam Lee was on. Another gentleman, I'll still call him a gentleman, even though he doesn't want me on his channel anymore. Jeff Thomas Black was there, a guy that a few days ago made a video on me saying he wants nothing to do with me. I'm no longer welcome on his channel, yada, yada, yada. I did a stream about that a few days ago. If you want to check that out, go back and check that out. But Jeff Thomas Black was there. And Hot Facts with Robert Reese came on there. And I knew he went on that show because after he was on that show, he came in the chat of my Walking with Purpose stream and made me aware that he did. And, he was talking with this young man, Sam Lee, who I believe is I think he's 25 or 30, something like that. He's like a younger millennial, right? Millennial. Here we go again, right? And as I was watching this show, I heard some things that I just couldn't believe. It was blowing my mind, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in just a little bit here. But first, I'm going to talk about how Prop 22 actually works when you are working any gig app, including DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, etc. here in California. This is only for California drivers. And I'm sharing this because, Sam Lee, from what I found out, lives in the same city, I believe, as Hot Facts with Robert Reese. They live in Southern California. I live in Northern California. So they are also entitled to Prop 22 benefits when they drive. When I drove for DoorDash and Uber Eats earlier on in the year, late last year through the beginning of earlier this year, I had Prop 22 benefits. So I thoroughly understand Prop 22 benefits. And Robert Reese was saying, if you've never driven in California and experienced Prop 22 benefits, you shouldn't talk about them, because some other people were trying to talk about it on the show. And, Robert was saying, hey, look, we should only have people talk about Prop 22 that live in California and have driven for gig apps in California. I'm one of them, so I'm talking about it, right? And stick around, Robert and everyone else, because I'm going to fill in the missing gap that you guys didn't figure out based on the information that was shared or not shared by Sam Lee on that stream. Because the title of this show is How Prop 22 Actually Works on DoorDash and Sam Lee Deactivated for Theft? 3 question marks. One more time. How Prop 22 Actually Works on DoorDash and Sam Lee Deactivated for Theft? 3 question marks. Was Sam Lee deactivated for theft? Was that the reason? He's not willing to tell us what he was deactivated for. He's not willing to even share the email that he received for his deactivation, which would shed more light on why he was deactivated. And he kept on saying on the show, I don't know the reason, didn't give me a reason. That's BS, Sam Lee. I think you're just embarrassed regarding what you did, and I'm going to share with you what I feel you did. I don't have proof. This is my opinion. Okay, this is a very, very strong opinion, and I'm going to share with you circumstantial evidence that is more than likely going to pretty much state what Sam Lee was deactivated for and why he's not willing to share that information or talk about it, because he's embarrassed, and it goes beyond that. You should be embarrassed for what you did, Sam Lee, because, wow. We've already seen a lot in the community. We've seen people steal from DoorDash before. We've seen people use this glitch and make, content that misled their audience. We've seen so many people defraud not only the community here, through the gig economy community here on YouTube, but they've defrauded DoorDash too. And as much as I don't like DoorDash and Tony Hsiu and how they're doing things, stealing is stealing. If you're stealing, you're a thief. Bottom line in the story. So this whole, Prop 22 thing ties in with Sam Lee's deactivation. So I'm going to clarify for you folks tonight exactly how Prop 22 works. I'm an expert on it. I drove for 3.5, almost 4 months here in California. I thoroughly understand it. I'm going to show you on the screen here on the DoorDash help page where they state, Prop 22 benefits. Now, I believe you can only access this page if you live in California. You must have a California IP address. If you try to access the page I'm going to show you outside of California, I believe you can't access it. DoorDash has probably done something called geo-restricting, which is geographic restricting, meaning that, you can set certain pages of your website to only be accessible from, certain areas. Now, if you have a VPN, virtual private network, and you log into a California, virtual private network, you could probably access it. I haven't tried it. I don't need to try it because I live in California. I can access it over my regular internet connection. But I'm just making that clear. If you go out there from out of California, once this show is done or during the show, and you try to access this page, unless you have a virtual private network and sign into a California server, VPN, virtual private network server, you will more than likely not be able to access it. Okay. So let's get to it here. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen here. Right there on your screen, you see the DoorDash Dasher support, help page. It says your Prop 22 guide. Okay. I'm going to go over Prop 22 benefits first, and then I'm going to share the information that Sam Lee mentioned and why I feel Sam Lee is a thief, in my opinion. Now, I'm not accusing him of this. I'm just saying my opinion, based on circumstantial evidence, is pointing to the fact that Sam Lee is a thief, and the reason why he's not sharing the actual reason why he got deactivated or sharing the deactivation email that DoorDash sent him, it's because he's a thief, and I'll share with you why. And I have something else to refer to regarding another content creator out here on YouTube that was recently, over the last month or so, deactivated for the same exact thing in a different state. So stick around for that. We're going to piece this all together. And Robert Reese, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, this is going to blow your mind. When you wake up to this, you're going to be like, holy shit, right? Okay. Now, hold on a second here. What I need to do, give me a second. What I need to do is make myself a little smaller here. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Let's see. 1232, 699. Give me a second here, folks. My apologies. Give me a second here. Do. Where am I? What happened to me? Give me a second here. My apologies, folks. Give me just a second here. Give me a second here. All right. All right, we're good. We are good now. Sorry about that. All right, let's get into this here and explain to you what Prop 22 benefits entail, okay? Prop 22 went into effect on December 16th, 2020. If you're dashing in California, here's a quick breakdown of how Prop 22 impacts your experience. Under Prop 22, you are eligible to enjoy guaranteed minimum earnings. That's per active hour. We'll explain more about that in a bit. Required to take an uninterrupted 6-hour break when you dash for more than 12 hours in a 24-hour period. So you're not allowed to dash more than 12 hours at a time. that limits you to dashing, 84 hours in 1 week. I'm going to bring out my handy dandy calculator for a second here on the screen and do this. We're going to do 12 times 7 is 84. You see it right there, right? Okay. So that is the maximum amount of hours you're able to dash per week in California. Okay. That's not active time. That's overall dash time. Active time is from the moment you accept an order to the moment you drop off the order at the customer's location. That's active time. We're talking about dash time. So dash time includes time while you're on the order and while you're waiting for an order, sitting around waiting for your phone to give you an offer, right? That's dash time. 84 hours in California is the maximum dash time you can do per week. You cannot work any more than that. So there's a limit to how much you can make because you cannot work more than 12 hours in a day or more than 84 hours in a week, right? And when somebody claims that they can make this amount of money on a consistent basis or a certain amount of money, an astronomical amount of money at a consistent basis, such as Sam Lee has claimed to make, and I'll share what that number is here in a second. I was just blown away with what I heard. You're going to be a little bit leery on how they're doing it, right? But I figured out how Sam Lee is doing it. Again, we'll get more into the Sam Lee thing in a second here, okay? So, you're eligible for a healthcare stipend at the end of each calendar quarter if you dash an average of 15 or more active hours per week and have a qualifying health plan. So you can get coverage here in California through the Affordable Health Care Act. It's called Covered California here in California. And if you work a certain amount of hours, you get a healthcare stipend once per quarter. The more hours you work, the greater the healthcare stipend is. Okay. And that comes in pretty handy to help pay for your healthcare costs. Because even though Covered California and whatever it is in your state regarding the Affordable Health Care Act here in the U.S., it's cheaper and it's affordable, but it's not free. It still costs you money. This actually helps you pay for the difference. Okay. You're also required to complete a state mandated safety course. That's, a bunch of garbage. We all know we need to be safe, but they make you take this course within the app. It's really stupid. It's easy. It's common sense, right? Below, you will find detailed information about the following topics: dasher pay, healthcare stipend and eligibility requirements, online safety course, and mandatory breaks. You must take a 6-hour break after working 12 hours. Dasher pay, earn with even more peace of mind. Here's what you should know, okay? What stayed the same? Earn on your own time. So we are technically still considered independent contractors in California. And what I'm about to explain to you folks is very similar to what's known as earn by time in other states. If you're in a state or an area that has the earn by time option on top of the earn per order option, earn by time is a derivative of Prop 22, but it's just not as good, right? And I'll explain to you why as we go through this. So earn on your own time. As always, you'll enjoy the independence and flexibility of choosing when, where, and how much you earn. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Get paid as you deliver. You still receive base pay for each delivery and receive 100% of tips on top of this amount. That is true. That is true. Tips are extra and yours to keep, as long as you're not, stealing tips and throwing them the way of base pay, right? You receive 100% of your tips collected by DoorDash. Okay, we hope to think that's true. I've never really had a problem with this, but I've heard other people have. So that's subjective there. Promotions. You can take advantage of promotions like peak pay and challenges to earn extra money. I've never seen the challenge. Well, I think the challenge is, when you sign someone up, they offer you a certain amount of money to refer somebody, the referral challenge, right? There's actually a referral bonus in my area now for $900. While I was driving last year, there were so many drivers on the road, we never had one referral bonus. But now people are, there are less drivers out there, so they're trying to get more drivers back out there, and they're trying to incentivize us with these referral bonuses again, right? Once you complete them, they'll be included in your DoorDash delivery pay. Okay, great. Get paid each week. You can still see your weekly earnings in the app and have the option to cash out daily for a small fee with FastPay. Or get paid. This is what I chose. This is the best thing to do with DoorDash if you're still doing it. Get paid instantly with Dasher Direct. You'll still be able to receive instant payouts if you use Dasher Direct as your payment method. Dasher Direct is great because every time you would end a dash, the money goes immediately into your account. So if somehow you get deactivated, after your shift ends, okay, you'll have all your money. You don't have to wait a week to get paid, you don't have to wait at all. The money goes right into your Dasher Direct card and no one can take it away from you, okay? What did Prop 22 change? Guaranteed minimum earnings. Here's what Prop 22 is all about, okay? I've shared this before, but I haven't shown this screen here, and this will make it a lot easier to understand. Guaranteed minimum earnings. Earn with even more confidence. When you dash in California, you earn at least 120% of minimum wage based on the local minimum wage at the pickup location for active time on the platform, which is time spent on a delivery starting from when you accept an offer to when you complete it, plus 34 cents per mile during active time when driving a motor vehicle, for example, a car, motorcycle, motor scooter. Keep in mind, guaranteed earnings are just the minimum. If you earn more than this, you always keep the entire amount. Tips don't count towards your guaranteed earnings. So let me give you an example here. So we are here in California, we are guaranteed for every active hour, on the platform, meaning from the time we pick up an order to the time we, deliver the order, that's active time. If we're sitting around in a parking lot or at our hotspot waiting for an order for an hour, that's not active time. We don't get paid for that. We only get paid active time while we're on an active delivery. So let me give you an example, okay? I'm going to give an extreme example to make it easy, right? Now, here in Redwood City, the minimum wage is $17 per hour. Now, I'm going to put up my handy dandy calculator again, okay? There it is. And I'm going to share with you folks here how this works. So let's say I pick up an order in Redwood City where the minimum wage is $17 per hour. We take 17 and we multiply that by 120%. Whoops, I screwed that up. I'm sorry about that. I messed that up. Give me a second here. Did I screw that up? 17. Let's see, times. Let's see, I'm not doing this right. I am not doing this right. 120% of $17 per hour. Sorry, it's 2040. Sorry, it's $20.40. I got that right. My apologies. So it's $20.40, okay? So for every active hour while on delivery here in Redwood City, California, I am guaranteed $20.40 in base pay. If my orders during that active hour are greater than $20.40 in base pay, which will never happen because DoorDash has lowered base pay, then I'll get the higher amount. But that is the bare minimum I'm guaranteed in Redwood City. If I'm in a different city where the minimum wage is different, it's 120% of the minimum wage in that city. On average, in California, through Prop 22, you're going to make around $20 per hour. Let's just put it that way to make it simple, okay? But in this case, I'll say 20/40, right? So 20/40, right? Let's say I had an offer that was 10 miles away, and let's say the offer was $6, right? And I wouldn't take that offer, but I'm using this as an extreme example. Let's say I take the $6 offer, right? I deliver it, and that offer has a $2 base pay, and there's a $4 tip, okay? That's $6, right? And let's say that offer, from the time I picked it up to the time I delivered it, let's say it legitimately took an hour to deliver it. That's active time. Let's say I was on for 1 hour of active time during that, okay? I got paid $2 in base pay. I got paid $4 in tips, okay? The guaranteed minimum per active hour on this order was $20.40. I only made $2 of base pay. So at the end of the week, the following week, DoorDash would give me an adjustment of $18.40 to make up for the difference. That's how Prop 22 works. It's an extreme example. No one in their right mind would take a $6 order going 10 miles, but I wanted to just use that as an example to share with you how Prop 22 makes up for the difference in lack of base pay, okay? Also, you get 34 cents per mile. Now, if I just put this down here for a second, let me close the calculator for a second. You get 34 cents per mile on active time. So you get 34 cents for the 10 miles while you were driving there, but when you drive the 10 miles back, you're not on active time, so you don't get the mileage on the way back. You don't. So you have, 10 miles, 34 cents, that's $3.40, right? So on this order, you would have made $20.40. Let me show you this on the calculator again. $20.40 plus the $4 tip plus $3.40, which is a total of $27.80 because of Prop 22. That order in any other state, unless you were on earned by time, would have only made you a total of $6, right? Additionally, in other states, the earned by time offer does not pay you, the 34 cents per mile like we get here in California. You don't get mileage, right? And basically, the mileage, the 34 cents per mile, pretty much pays for your gas as long as your car gets about 14, 15 miles per gallon minimum while you're driving. You'll pretty much break even, on gas. Even in California, as long as gas is around $5 to $5.50 a gallon, right? Okay. If your car gets worse gas mileage, you're going to lose money on that. Or if gas prices go up to $6 a gallon here in California, you'll lose a little money, but you get the point there. It helps out a little bit, okay? That's the point of it, okay? So let me go ahead and continue here because we're going to get to the Sam Lee situation here after I explain this, okay? How it works: each week, your earnings are reviewed to ensure your total DoorDash pay meets or exceeds the amount you're guaranteed under Prop 22. If at the end of the week, your DoorDash pay is less than the required guaranteed earnings for the week, we'll automatically add a DoorDash pay adjustment for the difference. No action is required from you. If the amount of DoorDash delivery pay you earned is equal to or greater than your guaranteed earnings, your pay will stay the same. Because if they so happen to, take care of you with the base pay, which they don't, then there'll be no need for the adjustment. But I'll tell you this, without the adjustment in California, we'd be getting screwed here. Without Prop 22, we would be complaining, as much as you guys in other states. We're still complaining. I still don't think Prop 22 is good enough, because if your car needs new tires, needs new brakes, if your transmission goes out, you got to take into account while you're dashing. If you're doing it full time, your car's going to wear down quicker. You got to take into account $4,000 to $5,000 in auto repairs each year. And a lot of the people doing this type of work full time are living paycheck to paycheck. If their car breaks down, they're out of business, right? Okay. Keep in mind, you will only receive a pay adjustment if you're eligible for additional earnings. Your earnings will never be reduced. Yeah, I never had a problem with it when I drove. What this looks like, for example, let's say you dashed with your car in California and the following were true for a given week. Your active time was 600 minutes, 10 hours. You drove 100 miles to complete deliveries. Your DoorDash delivery pay for the week was $180. You earned $110 in customer tips. The minimum wage based on the pickup locations was $15 per hour. So that's the scenario there, right? Your guaranteed earnings for the week would be 120% times 15, which is 120% of the minimum wage from where you pick up the order in that city in California. Okay? Times 10 hours, because that was your active time, plus 34 cents times 100, which is the 100 miles you drove, and that equals $214. That's what your guaranteed earnings are. Since your DoorDash delivery pay, $180, was less than your guaranteed earnings of $214 because they stiffed you in base pay, right? You would receive a $34 DoorDash pay adjustment for the difference. This would bring your total earnings for the week to $324, $180 in delivery pay, $34 pay adjustment, and $110 in tips. Here's how this looks on your app. And you'll see that right there on the screen. Let me blow that up for a second there. I was looking in my screenshots for some examples, but I couldn't find them in time for the show. I'll share them on another show. I have screenshots of everything. So if you look over here, DoorDash pay, $180, DoorDash pay adjustment, $34. Your minimum DoorDash pay for the week of August 24th through August 30th was $214, customer tip $110. And down below, it says active time 10 hours, dash time 13 hours and 50 minutes, and then 25 deliveries. So it's pretty similar to what you guys get across the country, but we have another line here, DoorDash pay adjustment. We have the information here of what the difference of the Prop 22 pay was. And the rest is the same. Okay, so that's how it looks there. Okay. All right. So, give me a second here. Frequently asked questions. What is the definition of active time? Hang on a second here. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. Active time refers to the time you're actively on the delivery. It begins the moment you accept an offer and ends once you complete it. You have to understand this before we get to the next part of the show. You folks have to understand what active time is. It's only from the moment of where you accept the offer on your phone until the point of where you hit complete delivery and you drop off the order, you hit complete delivery, then active time ends. Okay. How do you calculate active time for batched orders? Active time includes all the time you are on any delivery, starting from when you accept an order until you complete it. I mean, for batched orders, this starts from when you accept the first order and ends when you complete the last drop off. So if you have multiple orders, batch orders, it starts from the point of where you pick up the first order to the point of where you drop off the last order. Okay, so you're on the clock of active time throughout the entire process of any amount of batched orders. Okay. Will I be paid for tolls and fees? No, you are responsible for tolls and fees. One time, Tony Shu wanted me to take an order across the Dumbarton Bridge out here in Redwood City to the East Bay. And I'm like, screw that. I'm not going to go there, pay a $7 bridge toll that I'm not going to get reimbursed, and then drive 15 miles there and 15 miles back. And it was like a $22 offer, but it still wasn't profitable. I mean, that's just ridiculous. If DoorDash makes you, drive over a bridge or drive on a toll road, they should cover that. That's not right. You'll still receive tips. I don't have to go over that. The pay adjustment I went over. If I normally dash outside of California but want to dash in California temporarily, what does that mean for me? Richard Glitcher did that. For those of you that know him. He came out here last year, drove in California with Prop 22 benefits, and he made some good money, but we all know he glitched up to do that. You are able to dash wherever you choose, but you need to complete a state-mandated safety course in order to dash in California. You can do that in the app. It's real simple. You can find details about the safety course below. Keep in mind, only deliveries with pickups in California are subject to the guaranteed earnings requirements described above, and only dashes in California will count as active hours for the California-specific healthcare stipend. Right. Do referral bonuses count towards my guaranteed earnings? Nope, they don't. Should I still keep track of my travel miles for tax deduction purposes? Yes. DoorDash does give you an estimate, but you should keep track of your mileage. And that is pretty much. Oh, yeah. Let me show you one more thing here. That's pretty much it. Mandatory breaks. Give me 1 second here, folks. All right, mandatory breaks. What's required? You need to take an uninterrupted 6-hour break if you dash more than 12 hours within a 24-hour period. This requirement is for your safety and the safety of others. Dashers who dashed more than 12 hours in a 24-hour period at least once in the last 7 days may receive a reminder email of this state-mandated requirement. Example, if you dash from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., you will need to take a 6-hour uninterrupted break beginning at 9 p.m. Okay? How do you calculate the 12 cumulative hours? It is the sum total of dash time. So it's not active time, it's overall time, even the time you're sitting waiting for an order. It is the sum total of dash time, the time you're logged in and available to receive a delivery opportunity in a given day. What if I work a total of 12 hours but take breaks in between dashes? You still need to take an uninterrupted 6-hour break before you start your next dash, right? So basically, you can dash for 12 hours a day. No one's going to come back, after taking a 6-hour break, doing 12 hours, taking a 6-hour break, and then working another 6 hours. You're not going to do that. So it all boils down to 12 hours maximum per day times 7 days, 84 hours per week is the max dash time, overall time, not active time. The max amount of dash time. You can go out there and wait for orders. And the dash time also includes active time. It's overall time. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is we're at 38 minutes here. I'm going to take a quick break right now. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about the Sam Lee situation and share with you folks why I think Sam Lee got deactivated and why he's not sharing that information. He's been very, very quiet about it, very vague about it. I'm going to share with you folks why, and it's all going to make sense. I don't have any proof, but you put two and two together, and it makes sense, especially with the amount of money that Robert Reese, who works in the same city as, as Sam Lee does, especially since Robert, mentioned he makes this amount of money every single week, which I don't see how it's possible. I never made anywhere near that amount of money. I'll share with you what that is when I get back from the break. So I'm going to cue up some music here and take a quick break. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss this. This is, man. Am I surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed at the way some people do business nowadays. I'm just noticing it's millennial men and Gen Z men. Like, I don't know. They want to shortcut everything. They want to make easy money, and they want to play the system to make money. And I've seen this through many millennials and even some Gen Zers. This behavior is spilled over. I'm not saying that Gen Xers like myself and boomers, baby boomers, aren't capable of doing these unethical things or even doing illegal things, because theft is illegal. It just happens much more with the millennials and the Gen Zers. I'm just seeing that more and more and more. So we'll get to that right after the break. So give me a second here. Stick around. We'll be right. Let's go back to full screen. Right back, and we are just gonna scratch it and get right back down to business. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Late Night with Coach Eli edition, live here on YouTube, live on Coach Eli 2, authentic live streams, the most positive place on the internet, and the place where you will always find the truth. You will always hear good, great information that will help you get the best possible grip on your life so that way you can accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires. Personally and professionally, we come from a place of honesty here and integrity and morals, values, and ethics, which it seems like many people, including the gentleman we're going to talk about here right now, they don't have morals, values. He doesn't have morals, values, and ethics, which is what I'm trying to say. And it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad because the things that people do, such as Sam Lee and others that have done similar things, we'll share that here in a second, it affects all of us. It affects, prices going up. When people steal from companies, they have to raise prices to make up for the losses, and we all pay for that. So this is the kind of stuff that we need to expose, not to chastise the person. We want to teach them a lesson, but we want to share how this affects everyone when this happens, right? So let's get right to it here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the browser screen because I'm going to have to use the calculator again, okay? Let's go back to the browser screen here. And let me just scroll back up to the Prop 22 guide here. This is just here for background. I mean, I could even just probably do this. Let's just do this, okay? Let's just go ahead and put the orange background here, and let's just put the calculator back up. All right, so let me make sure, first of all, that the audio is still working after the break. Gotta always check that. Give me a second. But we want to share how this affects everyone when this happens, right? So all right, we are good. All right, so let me give you a little more context like I started to do at the beginning of the show. So Sam Lee is a young man. I don't know his exact age. He appears around 25 to 30. Yeah, he's a millennial, okay? I'm not trying to be critical on millennials, but it just happens to be that the millennials are the ones that are the biggest offenders when it comes to, morals, values, and ethics, and, trying to cut corners to make money. And I think a lot of it has to do with their way they're raised. They're handed everything growing up. They're spoiled and entitled, a lot of them. And they just don't want to work. They want to make money as easy as possible. And if they can make extra money, skimming the system, they tend to do that. And I just, I have an issue with that because I have morals, values, and ethics instilled in me, by my family, by my parents, right? And so, yesterday, a couple days ago, this man, Sam Lee, was on a panel, the same panel, the Necro show, Necro Getting Bags. And he was basically, threatening, Thomas Schubeck, who runs the Glitch Dash channel. He was talking about how he puts out his location wherever he's at, and people were talking in the chat saying, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll show up or whatever. We know where he is and stuff like that. And, I've had people do that to me over the last 6 years on YouTube. And I can understand how that'll, scare you a little bit the first time it happens. But after you've been threatened, 2 or 3 times on YouTube, you tend to learn to understand that it's typically fake. It's just people running their mouths. But because Thomas is still new at this, Glitch Dash is new at this, he ended up hiding his channel. And for the last 24 plus hours, he's been MIA. I'm sure he's okay. I'm sure he's just, trying to take a step back and let the air clear. I did reach out to him, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, by text earlier today. I haven't heard back from him. Hopefully he'll get back to me tomorrow, and I can just let him know, hey, dude, watch this stream. or give me a call real quick. There's nothing wrong. Come back and continue to create the greatness you're creating out here, right? So that's what happened. Then yesterday, because we're after midnight now, one day after the threat, right? And Thomas putting his channel to hidden, right? On the same channel, Necro getting bags, great name. I don't know what it means, but whatever, great name, right? Sam Lee was back on the panel. Another person I'm collaborating with, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, was on the panel. Another gentleman, Jeff Thomas Black, who I was collaborating with until, a few days ago. He trashed me and doesn't want me to be a part of his channel anymore, doesn't want anything to do with me. I never did anything wrong with him or to him. But he was on that panel, and he made a lot of sense, actually. So I'm still going to talk about him when necessary, because I really don't have a problem with him. Both him and Robert were trying to basically convince Sam to apologize to Glitch Dash for the threat. And Sam Lee was saying, I never meant to threaten him, And they were trying to explain to Sam that it's not about, what you feel. It's how you're being perceived based on what you said. It's about what people perceive from your words. And Sam Lee just didn't seem to comprehend that. I don't know if Sam Lee, has a learning disorder, or he's slow or whatever, or he's been so entitled that he just doesn't understand these concepts of life. But, it's very important when you speak publicly, especially, that you take perception into consideration when you say something, because people can perceive something you say 5 or 10 different ways. I never heard him on the show say he's going to apologize. That's yet to be determined. But Jeff Thomas Black and Hot Facts with Robert Reese were trying to convince him to do so. Okay. Now, the next part of the show came up. I didn't even know about this. I guess Sam Lee was recently deactivated. And, Robert Reese, who I found out lives in the same city and dashes in the same area as Sam Lee does. So he knows Sam Lee. He's done videos with Sam Lee, right? Was saying, what was the reason? And Sam Lee says he doesn't know. He didn't know. DoorDash didn't tell him. He said, well, what about that initial deactivation email everyone gets? Everyone that's been deactivated out here on YouTube in the community has shared their deactivation email, which explains the reason why you were deactivated. Well, he said that didn't explain anything. I got a couple emails, and they didn't really tell me what I was being deactivated for. And right then and there, I knew the guy was BSing us all, right? And both, Jeff Thomas Black, but more so Robert Reese was saying, send me that initial deactivation email. Are you willing to send me that initial deactivation email? He was kind of like, he was very quiet. Like when you would ask this guy a question, he would just tune out for 30 seconds or a minute. And when he did that 2 or 3 times, it got me to realize that he's trying to hide something. He knows he fucked up. You messed up, Sam. You did something that you shouldn't have done, and you're trying to, state that, hey, there was no reason given, so there's no need for me to send you that deactivation email, right? Well, the truth of the matter is, you don't want to send Robert or anyone that deactivation email because it's stating something that you're not proud of that you did, which I believe is theft. I believe you stole from DoorDash, Sam. I believe that, and here's the kicker here. I believe, and Robert, listen to this. I'm surprised you guys didn't figure this out, but that's why you have me. That's why you have Coach Eli here. He digs deep and is very intuitive and will figure all this out, okay? I believe that Sam Lee was falsifying his time card in the same ways that Nugs was deactivated for falsifying his time card. About a month or so ago, Nugs another supposed prominent creator out here on YouTube, was deactivated for, misusing the earn by time feature in his area. Now, Nugs is in a different state without Prop 22 benefits, but they have earn by time there, which is the same concept as Prop 22. The only difference is they don't get 120% of the minimum wage in their city, and they don't get the 34 cents per mile. Okay. Earned by time in other states where it's available outside of California, Prop 22, they offer you earned by time. Let's say it's $12 per hour, and basically you're guaranteed $12 per hour while you're on an active delivery from the time you accept an offer until the time you drop the offer off, right? Okay. It's the same concept. The earned by time feature in other states was taken from Prop 22. You're just not getting the extra benefits, such as what we have, where we get 120% of minimum wage, based on the city where we pick up the offer at. We also get 34 cents per mile, while on the active delivery. So if it's 10 miles to the drop off, okay, we get 34 cents per mile times 10, but we don't get another 34 cents for the 10 miles for each of the 10 miles on the way back, because that's not active time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand that. So Nugs, what he did was he would drop off the order and then not hit completed delivery until he would get back into his zone, so he can run the active clock more and make more of that guaranteed money. I think you did the same thing with Prop 22 benefits, Sam Lee. I think you falsified your time card, and I'm going to tell you how you did it. And now I realize more how Nugs got away with it, because when I was driving, and this only happened to me on one order, okay? When I was driving, I had this order in a pretty wealthy area in Redwood City. I live in Redwood City, and it was a pretty wealthy area, kind of secluded, and the cell reception is crappy there. A lot of times I would lose cell reception driving through that area just to, if I had to, drive through that area to get somewhere else, right? But I remember I had this really good order, and I was going to the house, to deliver it. And then all of a sudden, my internet connection, was gone. My 5G was gone. It said no service. And now I figured, okay, I'll get out of the car. I'll walk to the porch of the house, and maybe I'll have enough service to be able to complete the delivery, right? Well, I got to the porch, and I couldn't complete the delivery because it said no service. It wouldn't let me complete it. So I'm like, shit, what do? I don't want to get a contract violation. I don't want to be late. What do I do? Is there an option to close this order once I get back into an area where there's reception, right? So here's what I did, okay? I took a picture of, the order, on the porch where I dropped it off. It was a, leave it at the door. You can either, they can select hand to customer or leave at door. They selected leave it at door. I dropped off the order. I took a picture with my iPhone's camera roll. And I said, okay, when I get back into the reception, it should allow me to close the delivery, right? So I drove about a mile. I pulled over because I got reception back. And then it was allowing me to close the delivery. But when I hit complete delivery, it said, you are not near the drop-off location. Are you sure you want to close this delivery? So DoorDash now knows. DoorDash is thinking, I'm trying to drop off this delivery, but I'm nowhere near the location of the drop-off according to the GPS, right? I'm like, what do I do? If I go back there, I have no reception. So I said, okay, I have to click yes. I'm sure I want to close the delivery. As soon as I hit that, and I'm trying to remember this exactly as it happened. I think I have screenshots somewhere of this, but I couldn't find them earlier. If I find them down the road, I'll share them. But once I hit, yes, I'm sure I want to close out the delivery. It's that was a mile away from the drop-off location because there was no reception there to close it. It then gave me a bunch of options saying, what is the reason you want to close this delivery, outside of the area or something like that, right? And one of the options was lack of cell coverage or something like that. Cell reception not available at original drop-off location. And then I'm like, okay, so DoorDash has a solution for this in case you need to drop off an order where there's no cell reception. You can, take a picture with your camera roll and then drive back into reception a mile or two away and then close it out and then let DoorDash know the reason why you closed out the offer a mile away or two a mile or two away from the drop-off location is because there was no service. So I hit that option, and then it allowed me to type in, no reception at customer's house. I took a picture with my iPhone camera roll, and I'm attaching the picture here. Please close this delivery. Contact me if you have any further questions. Boom, I closed the order. So when I heard what was happening with Sam Lee, and I heard, this is another thing I heard, Robert Reese was saying that Sam Lee is making $2,000 per week consistently on DoorDash. And I'm like, how is he doing that? How in the world is Sam Lee making $2,000 a week consistently when that is pretty much impossible everywhere? I mean, I worked 80 plus hours, a few weeks when I did DoorDash earlier on in the year, and I made nowhere near that amount of money. I made like $1,100 with Prop 22 benefits, right? So when I heard he was making this amount of money consistently, it reminded me, first of all, of why Nugs was deactivated for falsifying his time card a month ago. And then I was thinking, how is he doing this? How is he making this amount of money consistently? Where the rest of us are struggling to make, I'm not driving anymore, but people, are struggling to make $800, $1,000 a week working the same amount of hours, right? How is he doing it, right? Okay. He's falsifying his time card, right? So let me give you an example here. Okay, this is what I think you're doing. This is what I think you got popped for, Sam Lee. Remember, in California, you can only work a maximum of 12 hours per day, then you have to take a break. So I'm going to give Sam the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say, let's say Sam worked 12 hours each day. He works 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so again, if we go 12 times 7, that's 84 hours, right? That's 84 hours of dash time, not active time. Remember, active time is from the time you pick up an order to the time you drop it off. And that's what you're getting paid for through Prop 22 benefits. And also, if you're in a different state that offers earned by time, you're getting paid for each active hour, right? Now, I also heard Robert Reese say that Sam Lee takes every single order. He has 100% acceptance rate. I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're taking crappy orders, right? Well, if you're falsifying your time card, you can take crappy orders and make the money he's making. So let me show you folks here on the screen so you don't think I'm full of it, right? So let's say he took every order. Now, when I worked a few of the weeks where I worked, 80, I think I worked just under 84 hours those weeks, like 81, 82 hours. My active time was only 40 hours. But I think Sam Lee's active time is around 80 hours out of the 84 hours. That means he has absolutely no downtime because he's taking every single order, even $2 orders, going 10 miles. Why? Because he's falsifying his time card. Now, every so often, he'll get a good order. But let's just take the scenario of out of the 84 total dash hours that Sam Lee can work each week at a maximum based on Prop 22 hour limitations. Let's say, I'm going to give him a big benefit of the doubt here. Let's say 80 of those hours are active hours. So he's getting paid the guaranteed hourly minimum. Okay. Now, I went online, and I believe Robert and Sam Lee live in LA County or in that area, and I believe the minimum wage there is around $19.20 per hour, right? So if we take $19.20 times, whoops, sorry about that. Let me clear all. $19.20 times 120. That's $23.04 per hour, okay? If we take $23.04 per hour and multiply that, $23.04 per hour, and we multiply that by 80, that's $1,843.20. And if he's making $2,000, a week, he's probably getting at least a few $100s in tips, right? Now, if he's taking every order, he's probably taking a bunch of crappy orders with no tips, but he doesn't care because what he cares about is his active time, right? But do all these orders that he takes that are crappy take 80 hours of active time, or is he running his clock longer than it takes to do the delivery, to falsify his time card? That's what he's doing, Robert. That's what he got deactivated for, falsifying his time card. And let me give you my conspiracy theory, okay? My theory on this is based on what I said regarding my experience that I gave a few minutes ago. So if Sam Lee takes a crappy order, right? And between the time he picks it up at the restaurant and then drives to the customer's home or apartment or business or wherever it's being delivered, let's say, that total order takes 20 minutes to deliver. So that would be 20 minutes of active time. What I think Sam Lee is doing is something similar that Nugs did. He's going to drop off the order. He takes a picture of it with his phone's camera roll, because on DoorDash, you can actually attach a picture without even having to take one through the DoorDash app. You can attach a picture instead of taking one through the app, okay? He's taking a picture, right? And then instead of hitting completed delivery or complete delivery at the drop-off site, he keeps the clock running until he gets back to its hotspot another 10 minutes away. When he gets to his hotspot, but wait, one more thing. What he's probably doing in order to try to get away with it, and why he got away with it for so long, is when he got to the location, he probably turned airplane mode on to make it appear like he lost the connection. Now, I legitimately lost the connection the one time where I had to close out an order a mile or two away when I got back in the reception, right? So he probably figured out the system where, okay, if I drop off the order, take a picture from my phone's camera roll, and as I'm pulling up to the customer's home, I put my phone in airplane mode, which is telling the DoorDash app that I've lost reception. So now I have a reason to complete the order at a different location, right? So he's driving all the way to his hotspot with the phone in airplane mode, gets back to the hotspot, takes it off of airplane mode, reception comes back on, the 5G comes back on. Now he tries to complete the order. It says you are not at the delivery location. Are you sure you want to close it out? He selects yes. The options come up. What's the reason? He says, I lost reception on my phone, blah, 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 closes it out. And at the same time, instead of now only getting 20 minutes of active time, he's just stolen an extra 10 minutes of active time by doing it that way. That's what I think he got deactivated for, and that's how I feel he's been making $2,000 per week taking every order. There's not a DoorDash driver in their right mind that would accept every single order unless they are playing the system a different way. In this case, he's playing the Prop 22 active time of 120% of minimum wage guaranteed per active hour based on the city that he delivers in. That's what he did. And the orders that he got some tips, those are all bonuses. Maybe he got some cash tips, those are all bonuses, right? There's no other possible way to make that amount of money. Okay? There's no possible way. Okay? He did that because that way, he would have more active time, where the rest of us, if we, when I worked like an 80 plus hour shift, I sat around for 40 hours to get good enough orders that were worthy to take. I'm not going to take $2 or $3 orders, right? Because I'm also not going to falsify my time card to make up for it that way. That's what I think happened. So Robert Reese, there's your story. There's the reason why your boy Sam Lee is not going to give you the deactivation email, because it's probably stating, manipulation of, time card or, active time or something like that, right? And not only is he embarrassed by this, as he should be, you should be ashamed of yourself, Sam Lee, because that's exactly what I think happened. It's also, he broke the law. He stole from DoorDash. He stole from DoorDash, just like Nugs did, right? And that's why he was all shaky on the panel, because, you guys are asking him for the one email that everyone gets when they get deactivated, and he won't send it to you. And then he gets all quiet and stuff, and he's trying to figure out what to say, right? I got to tell you this, Sam Lee. If this is what actually happened, again, this is my theory, because I don't have any proof, but it makes a lot of sense based on your behavior and your actions. If this is what happened, man, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. You should be ashamed of yourself, man, for stealing, man, for being a thief, man. And if he was doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, honestly, the amount of money he's stolen could be considered a felony. I believe over $1,000 is a felony, right? Like, this has legal ramifications. You have more than your reputation to worry about, Sam Lee. You've got possible legal ramifications, which DoorDash probably wouldn't sue you for it, but they could. They could press charges, dude. It's a crime, man. Give me a second here, folks. Let me go back to full screen. I'm about to wrap this up. Sam Lee, you falsified your time card. Admit it. Come clean. You won't be able to live with yourself, which is what I'm trying to say, until you do it. You probably trash talked Thomas Glitchdash and didn't even realize you were threatening him. You probably did all that to create a smokescreen to cover up your actual reason for being deactivated. You need to face your consequences now, dude, and pay the price and learn from your mistake and never do it again, and become an example for other people to not do it. Because this is now the second time someone's done this. Now, again, we have no proof, but based on deductive reasoning, like I've been referring to a lot lately, and putting 2 and 2 together, the guy making $2,000 a week every week, taking every order, even crappy orders, you're falsifying your time card. You are falsifying the Prop 22 guaranteed earnings per active hour. You are running your clock when you're not even on an active order. You're manipulating the system, man. No one else thought about this. That's where I come in. Now, before I go off the air, I'm going to be doing a Walking with Purpose stream in the early afternoon. I'm going to go to bed shortly after this ends. It is 6:47 a.m. Eastern, 3:47 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to be doing a Walking with Purpose stream in the early afternoon to promote the show I'm going to be on later tonight on the Pedro and Hannibal channel at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. They're going to be interviewing me. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a professional show. We may have a little fun too. I mean, it's going to be three guys that have a reasonable level of intelligence. Three guys that can string along sentences properly and have a professional, down-to-earth conversation. And they want to hear my story. They want to hear, how this whole thing on YouTube came about with my trolls and haters. And they want to hear about, why I decided to do the life coaching thing and all that. It's going to be a great show. They're also giving me the option to ask them questions. Pedro and Hannibal, I don't know if you're going to hear this part. I know you guys are busy. I don't really feel right asking, you questions on your own show. I think for me, more so, if I do refer to anything regarding you guys, it's just going to be, hey, man, I'm proud of the fact that you guys are moving forward. And focusing more on your purpose. You want to do the coaching thing as well, Pedro. You're trying to kind of step away from the DoorDash content. You're still going to do it every now and then, but you more so want to focus on the coaching. And Hannibal, you want to more so focus on podcasting and other things, maybe helping people with other apps or, maybe growing this podcast, to a whole new level. I respect that. So again, that's coming up tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, live on the Pedro and Hannibal channel. I will share that link to the event later today, right here on Coach Eli too. I'll probably also share it on the main channel's community tab, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. So that is that. Just come clean, Sam. Sam, man, the way that you're behaving, like, honestly, dude, you would fail a polygraph, dude. Like, you are just not carrying yourself well. You have guilt or guilty written all over your face. Do the right thing, bro. Reach out to Robert. And you know what? You don't have to go public with it. Reach out to Robert. Let Robert know what happened. And if you don't want to go public with it, I can understand. I wouldn't want to go public with something like that. I would never do something like that in the first place. But reach out to Robert and let him help you behind the scenes off of YouTube and clear your head, man. Because honestly, dude, if you did what I assume you did, what I highly assume you did, which is the only thing that makes sense on how you can make that amount of money, dude, you need some help. You need a mentor. You need someone that's going to hold you accountable. Because I guess obviously no one's held you accountable in life, so you must have felt entitled to steal from DoorDash to make more money, dude. $8,000 per month, dude. Stealing it, dude. My God, dude. That's a felony, dude. I hope to God that's not what happened, dude. And if that is what happened, I hope to God that, DoorDash doesn't press charges or asks for restitution or whatever they can, dude. Anyway, folks, we're leaving 20 in the box tomorrow or later today. Later today is going to be a great day. I look forward to the show tonight. Things are going well. Dawn is doing great. Dawn says hi to everyone. She stepped in here briefly. She woke up to use the restroom. She stepped in here and waved at me. Says hi to everyone. Life is great. I hope your life is great as well. And if you need a little bit of help, come over here, follow our live streams and ask any questions during our live streams, and Don and I will help you out as best as possible. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.